Another fine day, another very beautiful day, and today it's going to be a good conversation. A conversation with a sister, a conversation with a group of people who are doing wonderful for our community. Now, for those who don't know me, it makes me happy to see people who they already achieve a lot, personally for their families and all of that. But then they still feel like, hey, as a community, we need to come together. We need to not only put our resources together to help each other grow, but also think about what we can do as a community to impact the world. Today, uh, I will talk to a group of people. I would really like grammar, but we'll talk pigeon today. I'll talk to a group of people. I attended their event over the weekend, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. Boss, welcome to Toride.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pemexa.
Yes.
You be national president or regional president or now no how I call him?
National president. So the president of Pemexa USA.
Oh,
Um,
that's beautiful. But just quick start. What is Pemexa all about?
so Pemexa is an acronym
Mm-hmm.
for Presbyterian Secondary School Mancon Ex Students Association.
Mm-hmm.
So students who went to the Presbyterian Secondary School in Mancon,
Mm-hmm.
Bamenda, in Cameroon, for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the Presbyterian schools, well known in the Northwest. And so this is an association that is for those who are in the US who
Mm-hmm.
went to that school.
Okay.
Mm.
So you talked about being in the US. So you have all those chapters, maybe the one there for Europe, the one there for
Yeah, so we have chapters in the US.
mm-hmm.
We have some active chapters. Certain states have, active chapters. We're still working on making sure that all 50 states
Mm-hmm.
have a chapter. Cameroon has chapters. Europe has chapters. And then we're working on Canada to kind of work with them for North America.
But why do you guys think it's necessary to do something like this? Because one thing about the event I attended, I see almost all category of persons, like people they don't grant for them, really true grant for them, and I see grant for them, and I see maybe what age group them. I see younger people and all of that.
Mhm.
And like I said earlier, it's not just people; it's people who are successful already.
Mhm.
Success, as in they have a good job, they have their families, and
Mhm.
all of that. But then you guys still feel the need to get together from time to time, not just to do events, but at least come together as a group of
Mhm.
people who attended the same school. Why do you think it was important for you guys to do that?
Well, this is a tradition that we actually have. Every year we come together and have
Mm-hmm,
an annual convention. We've skipped a few years here because of COVID. We
mm-hmm,
had to postpone this event several times. But the reason why it's important for people who went to that school to still get together is to remember that, yes, I came out of this school,
mm-hmm,
but this is my foundation.
mm-hmm,
This is who molded me. A lot of my values, a lot of my friendships came out of
mm-hmm,
that school, and it built a baseline for me. So whatever I do, I'm building on that.
mm-hmm,
And it's the same thing for most people who have a passion for Pemexa. Who Not everybody who went to that school is
mm-hmm,
passionate about the organization,
mm-hmm,
but for those who are, it's because they build their core friendships from that. They still live, thrive from that foundation. And so even though you're successful, you have to give back to who brought you up, or who gave you your humble beginnings.
mm-hmm,
And so even if you're doing well, you want to look back and say, hey, I need to either give back to the school, either need to give back to people who came out of there, because not everybody is doing well.
mm-hmm,
And that's something that from this year we're going to really start looking at, trying to make sure that we ourselves are doing well. Even
mm-hmm.
before we look back to the school, we want to make sure that even every Pemexan in our community is doing well. So that's the reason why we think it's important to get together. Mhm.
One thing I know I say, any play or community, the people gather more than three people. It's really really challenging to before we get to the positive, so many positive things about Pemex, but then when they get challenges,
Of course. Just
like what are some of the challenges?
well, the challenges we have are, there are some people who are more engaged than others. We
Mm-hmm,
have people who think that, the older Pemexans they have their own way of thinking. We have younger Pemexans, millennials,
Mm-hmm.
Generation Z, X, Y, whatever, all the Z, the letters,
Yeah.
those generations, they think differently. Some of them are, they'll rather text than pick up the phone and call.
Mm-hmm.
The older generation like to have a phone call. Although some of us are, we're trying to bridge that gap to make sure that there's something in common for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenges we have is getting people involved.
Wow.
Some people, um, you know, they don't feel that passionate about the organization like other people do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like you have to drag them across the floor to
Mm-hmm.
get to, like even this event, we had to knock on doors and really make some phone calls to make people really get involved, to register and, make the event what it ended up being. And then just getting the chapters to stay active. That's another challenge we have, because the pandemic took a toll on us.
Mm-hmm.
We went to where we were doing Zoom meetings, and then when it was time to get back to in person, it was really hard to get people motivated again to get back to in person. So those are just a few of the challenges. There are more. I mean, not just like any organization, we have challenges.
Now, one
Mhm.
thing I know is we have many other groups. Soban, you named, you called plenty
Boba,
name, Boban, this one, that,
Gobexa,
and all.
Copexa,
But
name it.
so if someone was asking you like, what makes a Pemexan or Pemexa unique, different from every other group out there?
Pemexa has a certain heart. No matter the challenges that we just talked about,
Mm-hmm.
when two or three Pemexans get together,
Mm-hmm.
you will realize that there's some spirit. There's a Pemexa spirit. We call it peace spirit.
Mm-hmm.
We just start singing.
Mm-hmm.
We just start telling stories. Even
Mm-hmm.
if I was fighting with somebody and we get together, we just start remembering something, whether it's conchav that we ate
Mm-hmm.
together or puff puff that we used to eat in the refectory. If you're from the same decade or from the same, the same decade, most of the time, those are who graduated in the 90s
Mm-hmm.
or the 2000s, you always have something unique. Either it's the principal that you had or the teachers that you had. You always have stories that you can go back to. So we just have there's some spirit. And if you notice at our event, we had certain words about Pemexa that was spread all over the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Pemexa, we,
My
and
Pemexa is
yes,
conchav. I
it's
think that
my,
was
yes, my pen. Everybody had something about Pemexa that was unique to them,
okay.
and our next speaker will really shine some light on that. So I won't steal the thunder from her, but um everybody, that shows our spirit, because
Mm-hmm.
every friendship, love,
Mm-hmm.
understanding, growth,
Mm-hmm.
different things like that, and that just shows the heart of Pemexa.
One thing I noticed is you guys put in a lot of money for the event. When I put plenty money for the
Mhm.
event, man talk pigeon, man not just
Will be the
man.
work punishment. We'll talk pigeon. No, you force me my work punishment now. So who will be the work
So
punishment?
you guys, I feel like when I put in a lot for make that event the success that it was beautiful. It was a classic event, and I know besides the money when I put them, I know the time, organization, all of that. Now my question are why, like if we just stay for now, if we just stay on a house enjoying ourselves, why when I feel like I see people flying
Mhm.
from out of state. I imagine any the money we to spend first of all for hotel and this and that and that and that. Why wanna be thinking say it is really, really important for us to have an event where people show up and just have fun.
So again, the Pemexa spirit,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to have the heart for that organization to make that sacrifice to
Mm-hmm.
either bring your family or yourself. We had
Mm-hmm.
people who came from Canada,
Wow.
Germany,
Mm-hmm.
South Africa
Mm-hmm.
for this event.
Wow.
That's how important it is.
Wow.
And the reason is because, yes, you can sit in your own corner and do your own thing. You can do a party of your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
But coming together shows that unity.
Wow.
It shows that we can come together. And this year was really about Pemexans.
Mm-hmm.
It was for us to get out of the funk of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
People went through a lot. People lost family members.
Very true.
People, we lost Pemexans.
Mm-hmm.
We even had, we lost a Pemexan
Mm-hmm.
in Maryland. We all had to go out for that.
Wow.
Pemexans lost their kids,
Mm-hmm.
family members, parents, I mean, siblings. So we just needed something to come together and just put our hair down, relax. We had fun. We played games at the park,
Mm-hmm.
sack race with the kids. We
Mm-hmm.
did. There was Lodo. I don't know if some people played Lodo. We had to remember our old games, Lodo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did races, egg and spoon race,
Mm-hmm.
dance. We had dancing competition
Mm-hmm.
just to feel like a kid again. There was
Wow.
jump rope. I even did jump rope at the park,
Mm-hmm.
just to feel like, you're back to that childlike personality. Get out of the seriousness of paying bills, working
Mm-hmm.
every day, 40 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Just forget all of that
Mm-hmm.
for 3 or 4 days. Hang out with people that you grew up with. And that was why it was important.
What was your best part of the event? We had so many things. What was the favorite for you?
Seeing my classmates some of them I haven't seen them for 30 years.
Wow.
20 years, 15 years. So it
Wow.
was just amazing to see my classmates. And then, even those who I never met in PSS,
Mm-hmm.
but I've heard about them. I
Mm-hmm.
knew their names because my older sister was 5 years ahead of me. I never met her
Mm-hmm.
in school, thank God, because I would have been carrying her plate all the time. No, just kidding. But anyways, I met some of those people that I had not met before. And it was just amazing to see people hug them, feel them, put a name and face together.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Okay, boss. So while we watch the Pemexa video, I want me to tell us a little bit about the most beautiful memory you have of your school days. Um, yeah, like I said, while we watch the Pemexa video, maybe after that I'll ask you a question on the video.
So my school days,
Yeah,
the best part,
the best part.
March past when we marched,
Mhm.
because we had a unique way of marching. All the schools marched with two arms.
Yeah.
PSS, we marched with one hand. The
Was there a
girls,
reason for that?
it was just unique. It was something that it was our culture. That was something that was very unique, and we always knew that we'll be first. When they did the competition, we were first. It was just automatic that PSS Mancon will come first because our uniforms were on point, our sandals were on point, our white socks were on point. If you had one dot on your socks, you got in trouble. So that part for me was, it was very special. So that's my best memory, one of my best memories from PSS.
Okay, before we swap,
Mhm.
because my best person there for
I
background, the
know,
way my
right?
bring
I
it
know
in.
that I'm just the chopped liver here. I'm just the prime. I just have to prime the line here.
So I want us to look at this video and then you just go ahead and tell us maybe any person we pop up, you probably tell us about them or whatever is happening. Most start for day.
Oh, I see my dad in that video.
Mhm.
I see
Or the other one.
yeah, I see Mabis who's about to come up. So she, I won't like I said, I won't steal the thunder from her.
Mhm.
See old friends, couples, Pemexa
The
couples.
MC.
The MC was on point. He was our comedian and MC, young Pemexan from Houston.
Mhm.
He did an awesome job,
Mhm.
keeping us engaged and laughing.
Mhm.
And again, Reverend Joseph Ajinville, my dad, he
Mhm.
was the pioneer chaplain for the school, so
Mhm.
he did the opening prayer for the evening,
Mhm.
which was special. Having him,
Mhm.
and he'll be back. He'll be on your show
Definitely.
a few weeks from now. So we'll talk more about him
Mhm.
then. This event wasn't about him, but he
Mhm.
stands out, and there's his better half, Pemexan and Soba couple. We have people from two different organizations,
Okay.
some executive members there, and
I think
yeah,
this lady
Lois.
I like that energy.
She's the vice president of national vice president. Yeah, she
Okay.
did a lot to to make sure we stayed on task.
Mhm.
She was like the chief whip
Mm-hmm.
who kept us on track. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a lot of, I mean, people who showed up from the community to support us. There was a lot of food there.
Mm-hmm.
We had lots of leftovers. So if you didn't show up, sorry, your food ended up in the trash. But
Mm-hmm.
we had plenty for people to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we saw and Pemexa kids. There were a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Pemexa kids there, who
Okay.
came to support their parents. So
Wow.
yeah,
Beautiful
yeah.
event. Boss. So for you, what was the takeaway for you?
The takeaway from me was service.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing this because we're paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like the officers, my team does not do this because they're paid, or
Mm-hmm.
anybody who contributed to this did their part, um, whether you carried a box, or whether you helped with the planning committee, or you helped with setting up the hall,
Mm-hmm.
or whether you helped with anything you helped with, you
Mm-hmm.
weren't being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people always put a dollar sign to
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
But this is an organization where you're volunteering your time,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to have the heart for it. And so again, if you don't have the heart for it, yeah, it won't make sense. It doesn't make sense to you, because somebody will be like, what am I getting out of this?
This.
Yeah, so unless you're, again, I know your platform is all about community, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're about
Mm-hmm.
making our community better. So making Pemexans better, making PSS Mancon better,
Better.
making anybody who's attached to that school
Mm-hmm.
better. And that's our goal going forward. We want to make sure that everybody has something, something that they can show in our community to
Mm-hmm.
make us move from one level to another, because our theme this year was Pemexans growing together, because we
Wow.
want growth.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would be your message at this time, to not just other Pemexans, especially those who were not there, but to our community as a whole?
To make sure that we find a way to improve ourselves in a positive manner,
Mm-hmm.
and try to weed out negativity,
Wow.
because the tendency for us is to look at something and immediately we see the negative
Mm-hmm.
in that. So whether you're a Pemexan, whether you're from another organization, whether you're just a Cameroonian
Yeah.
or an African in general,
Yeah.
try to bring out the positive in anything. So whether it's our organization, we're gonna have a debriefing of
Yeah.
our event next week. We'll sit down, we will appreciate what's good about the event, and we'll also look at what didn't work out so well, the challenges and all those things. And the reason we'll look at those things is to make ourselves better, to improve on what we did wrong, so that next time we make sure that it's even better. And we can also, people can learn from it. If they're planning another event, if a different organization is planning an event, they
Mm-hmm.
can look at the Pemexa event
Mm-hmm.
and learn from it. If there
Mm-hmm.
are things we didn't do right, they can learn from it. So we won't keep that to ourselves and say, because we're Pemexans, it's just a Pemexa thing. So we want to make everybody in the community better. So that's something that I think that we should gather out of this.
Um. Okay, I think it's time for us to share
Yeah.
this video. So
Okay.
let's just go ahead and I'll play. Let me play this back, guys. Let's go ahead and share the video. I shared the link with you. I think.
Okay.
Did I share with you already?
Not yet, but my assistant sent it to me.
Okay.
So I think she was watching. I'll share with Marvin. You want me to switch out? Switch. Who switch?
Yeah. Hi. Another fine day. Another person don't come. The one of my personal person. The first time I met her was I'm not sure we'll be even meet up, but we meet up the fight for serious. And the one thing about her that I admire was how she handled everything. It was a complicated situation, but then I don't know, it finds a way for not only, okay, ma put on the way, right? You know, when you do something way, some person ever really be angry with you, but then the person calls you and they sound like I was worried about you. I be the fear. That was what actually happened, and that was how I was like, you know what? I just like this person. I'll use the word love. I don't know how people want to interpret that, but I just have so much respect for them. And then the first time I met her was the Pemexa event. One of that selfless. No, not that's not the first time. I don't mean tell you for Sulu Hall
Gladys.
for event. Yeah, selfless, was trying to organize, was doing everything to make sure everything was going fine. And then now Hope makes an event. So if you meet person 2 times or 3 times for different events, and then always that person is the way they struggle for push these, struggle for make sure say things they go well. Which be a conclusion, like community person, a person you want to see things and go on well and not just for themselves, but then for the community. Boss, welcome to Toride.
Thank you. I'm glad
Now,
to
so
be
all
here.
person for Pemex are the thing.
How?
Huh?
How?
Like you, or wanting things to go well, wanting everything to move smoothly, always doing something to make sure the party turns out good.
Actually, that's a trademark.
Okay.
If you're a Pemexan, while you were in school, your motto was save to serve.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came out,
Mm-hmm.
our motto is save to serve from generation to generation.
Wow.
So service is just innate in us. We had a principal who was the number one servant,
Wow.
and that tradition continued. Our big served us,
Wow.
and it continued that way.
Okay. Your voice really low. I don't know whether that's the soft talk or
I'm
now,
sorry.
if you
Yes,
move
I
it away,
do.
it's going to be worse.
Okay. Yeah, I do soft talk, but if you get me started, get get
I
ready.
better get you started so you can sound really loud. So now, boss, the event, we already talk about why it was necessary for you guys to do the event. The first question what I want to ask you now, like for the event, what was your favorite part of the event?
Oh boy. I don't know if I can really isolate any one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I can talk about something that came together so beautifully.
Yes.
The selflessness of everybody that came.
Mm-hmm.
The heart. They wore their hearts on their
Mm-hmm.
sleeves. They wrote them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you were first batch or the 30th batch.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just came together
Mm-hmm.
and made sure we had an amazing event. If
Mm-hmm.
you consider the fact that 3 weeks ago we
Mm-hmm.
had considered canceling the event,
Wow.
and for people to pull together the way they did and just serve.
Wow.
We had people that came almost 15 years after they had stopped coming.
Wow.
And when they came, they just rolled into motion and just started pick plates, picking up napkins, arranging chairs, setting up flowers and boards and tables. It was just beautiful.
Wow.
That's what stood out for me.
Now I know say one to be happen. One to be happen this part of the event and for some reason, when you get to this part, all man be corner you. I want me to just look at that video. Yeah, look at that video and just explain what was happening.
Never even met me in school. In my
Wow.
time in school, he wasn't even there.
Okay.
His aunt is my classmate.
Mm-hmm.
But when I made the call to him,
Mm-hmm.
and if you know Don Murphy LLC or
Mm-hmm.
donmurphy.com,
Mm-hmm.
you know how his wares, his suits, his shoes, how
Mm-hmm.
they're selling.
Wow.
But when I made one call to him, he said, Mabis, in service to Pemexa, I will be there.
Wow.
I was scared. I made multiple calls.
Mm-hmm.
I kept nudging and feeling the temperature. And he was like, I told you, Mabis, I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure this and this and this and this. And boy, did he show up.
Wow.
He did not only show up, he delivered. And he just demonstrated in action what we are all about.
Wow.
One success translates to another's. His success is going to inspire a lot of people.
Very true.
He's somebody that went to university, went to college like all of us, but he had a dream that never died.
Wow.
And he lit that fire. But he did what his parents wanted him to do. He went to school. But then he had his own dreams that he was going to chase. And when he was done chasing their own, he went after his own. And that's an inspiring story to share with Pemexans. And you were there. You saw him pledge. He said, I don't want anybody to contact me on Facebook. Every one of you in this hall, get my number. Call me. I would support, I would advise, I would assist.
Boss, so for you, when Pemexans come together like that, what is that one thing for you that where you think it happen? For you, not the magic.
It's very funny. I think my national president touched on it.
Mm-hmm.
The singing.
Yeah.
We are constantly singing even when you are not hearing. I'm constantly singing when I get to my Pemexa mode. But the one thing about this convention, if you ask me to title the convention, I would say the songs we did not sing.
Okay.
Because we were very intense in our deliberations, in our General Assembly, that what we normally do after that, we did not even care that we did not sing any song that night. We did not even drop a tune and people did not pick it. We did not even do that. We did not even remember that we did not sing. So I would say we sang those songs in our hearts because we were happy about the outcome of our deliberations.
Wow. My next question would be now, what is the future for Pemexa?
Amazing. The future of Pemexa is, from my lens, is very bright. From my lens, it's a Pemexa that not only looks back, but looks far ahead.
Okay.
So the Pemexa of our dreams is what we want to see.
Okay.
And the dreams we have for Pemexa, it's one that, so most of us that are here, our children will never have the opportunity to go to school in PSS Mountain.
Very true.
As much as we would have loved for them to go. I am fortunate to have my son. He had gone there, and because of the war, he had to come back. So I have one Pemexa in my house. Would I have loved to have more? Absolutely. But one is enough. The future of Pemexa I see, and I dare to say it here for the first time, is one that transmits its values into the children of Pemexans that are not Pemexans. To the point where they become so entrapped in it that they want to continue the tradition and become a Pemexa that never went to PSS Mountain. I see Pemexa becoming the next Rotary Club, the next Lions Club. Just because a tradition so enviable and so valuable was handed down to them, and they feel they need to protect it.
What is the biggest challenge for you as a Pemexan?
The biggest challenge for me as a Pemexan is we all like what we like. Well, we don't say it. I challenge Pemexans to start speaking their truths. I challenge Pemexans to be bold enough to own their truth. We are bold. We were Spartans in school. So we are brave. But I challenge Pemexans to stop being so cool. I have a hashtag that I say, #NoDramaPemexa. We don't push buttons. And fortunately for us, we don't fight. As much as we may hate something, we don't fight. That's the good quality about us. Pemexa has never split since inception. I don't see any reason why it will ever, but never say never. But when I push us to start pushing our own buttons and challenging ourselves, then that's when you see maybe clause will come out.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that, like they say, a famous saying that I have, in our togetherness, we can still maintain our spaces.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see Pemexa come together as a body,
Mm-hmm.
arms, legs, feet, eyes, ears, everybody with different parts,
Mm-hmm.
but together we form one beautiful body, one melody, one synchrony.
One of the things that happened on that night was the event, award ceremony. First of all, why did you guys think it was necessary to award people on that night?
I mean, we are all kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
At heart, even you at heart, if your
Okay.
wife brings you a new shirt, what do you say? Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like it or not, you try to put it on for the next event.
Mm-hmm.
So we are all kids. Napoleon Bonaparte said it best: men are ruled by toys.
Mm-hmm.
So just that recognition,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a way of recognizing service, of
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging
Mm-hmm.
what you do. The few that got it doesn't mean that's all
Mm-hmm.
of the people.
Mm-hmm.
But once in a while, you just highlight one person and let them have their day.
Wow.
And those that received the awards, we just highlighted them out of the many.
Okay. Pemexa. When is the next convention? And by the way, if you were supposed to actually share something with the rest of especially those who were not here, what will you tell them?
Their loss.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I cannot wait to see them at the next event.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be any kind. It's not only conventions.
Mm-hmm.
The Mexicans are talking different things. We are talking retreats. First of all, you realize that PSS Mankan is a co-ed school, which means
Mm-hmm.
boys and girls. We are not like Lourdes, Seika,
Mm-hmm.
Sacred Heart,
Mm-hmm.
or Sase. We are a co-ed school. The brotherhood and the fraternity that we share with each other, boys and girls, is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So um, we're looking at things like, and it's coming very soon. So I'm not going to wait till the next convention to see those that couldn't make it this time,
Mm-hmm.
because I know I'm going to see them at the retreat.
Mm-hmm.
The girls will have their own retreat, the boys will have their own retreat.
Mm-hmm.
They go there and converse each other's names,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll come back and meet again at the convention. That will be fun.
So, boss, besides this convention, is there any other thing PEMESA is doing as an institution, maybe to push our community to the next level, maybe to push individuals to the next level? Like, besides convention for now, is there any other thing you guys are doing?
So conventions are annual meetings,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in those 2-3 days, we tend to pack a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual things that build up to the convention happen in your various communities in the course of that year.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have local chapters.
Mm-hmm.
In Dallas, we have a chapter. I happen to be the vice president of our Dallas chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And the things we do. So if you have identified as a Pemexa, that means you've identified the Pemexan community.
Mm-hmm.
That's your own community.
Yeah.
Do we have people that we serve within that community? Yes. We have younger ones that are still starting families. They have born houses. They have baby showers. They have to go to school. We have to make sure we can accommodate that, have that fluctuation to accommodate them.
Mm-hmm.
We make sure even when we have meetings to factor in those aspects
Mm-hmm.
of the young family versus a family that has settled, and it's probably, we have examples that are empty nesters. Their children have graduated, have jobs of their own, are living on their own, getting married.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things, we try to cater to every Pemexan at any point where they are. We have lots of Pemexans in business, doing business.
Mm-hmm.
We try to encourage each other to use our own, just like we do the same, just to encourage people. They say consume African, consume Cameroonian,
Mm-hmm.
consume. We try to find people and resources within our own community that we can use and we can pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that, but definitely we are not at a place where we are comfortable yet, because we think that there's a lot more that we could do, a lot more that we can give. Coming out of COVID, I do think that COVID kind of reset our minds into what was valuable, what was meaningful. And I think legacy is something that we are looking at very much. How are our kids growing within this community? How are they adapting to experiences that we cannot relate to? We are growing. We grew up differently from how our kids are growing up. How are we understanding them? How are we trying to help them navigate these circumstances? And what role do we play? That's what we are focusing on. And so going forward, I don't know if the national president um, reiterated that, but going forward, we are insisting that our kids, our spouses, become part of us, and then we're going to make programs and activities that target those populations.
One person for that event we just pass. The one person we anytime you close your eyes and think about the event, you're like, this person made the event for me. Now,
If you call my name,
I call your name and one other person. If you call your name,
because I don't watch some of my videos and they're crazy. But the one person that made the event for me, and this is no bias. No, I've seen him in that mood, so I'm not going to pick him. The one person that made the event for me is Ahmed Awa. He was the first national president of Pemexa USA. We elected him back in 2000. And he did a great job.
Wow.
But just like any other thing, at some point you get burnout. And then you burn out and then you walk away and you just breeze. But he showed up this convention more than a decade later.
Wow.
And he just picked up like he never left.
Wow.
Humble, serviceable, and always willing to assist.
Wow. Boss, any question the way you be the expect I'll ask you, one over ask you?
So you'll be expecting me to write my own questions?
No, not like write your own question, but maybe you were like, okay, maybe we'll be able to talk about this thing or this thing, like any.
No,
By the way, who is this guy? Man, he looks so humble and so.
Yeah.
I'm a servant. Like, he asked me for that event. He asked me that kind of 20 times. You don't chop, you don't drink, you don't.
Okay. Yes.
So I gave a reminder, say no. At least you don't see me 15 other times.
Okay. You don't know it for the town.
That's one thing about me. I walk around with my eyes closed. I don't look people there for their face. You need to keep your
eyes open because there are people that you absolutely need to know.
Wow.
Because if there's one
is that the Ahmed guy you were talking about?
This is Ahmed. Yeah, this is Ahmed. If there's one person in this town that you need to have his number, you don't need to. He doesn't need to know you. If you're ever in trouble, I don't care, in the middle of the water, in mid-air with Southwest Airlines, and you call him, he will show up.
Wow.
That is Terence Ndofo.
Wow. Then we need to have him on TORIDEY.
One of the
Boss Terence, I hope, like
one of the most serviceable Pemexans that I know, human beings that I know.
Wow.
Yes.
Boss, thank you very much for coming. At least I don't get you for TORIDEY, man. Don't go. By the way, Prezi, anything they want to talk about?
Speak to Pemexans, those who weren't there, the pledges we made on Friday night, the decisions we made, so that people should know that Pemexa is going in the right direction.
Boss. Okay, we're here for you.
It's what am I talk about now?
Speak to Pemexans about the way forward.
Okay. I always have a smile in my heart if I have to talk to Pemexans, and so I am smiling very bigly right now. Not only because we had a good turnout in very short notice, but also because everybody that came very ready and very willing. Nobody was coerced to be here. And so for every Pemexan out there, whether you are within the United States, you are in Canada, you're in North America, anywhere, or whether you are even in Europe or in Africa, I just want us to remember our pledge to say that we are servicemen and women. I want us to remember that it's all for one and one for all. I want us to remember that commitment comes with sacrifice. And if you pledge your service, you are committing,
Oh.
and something's gonna give. And that while we may go through trials and tribulations, when you apply yourself in service to another human being, it is well worth it. When you apply yourself for a cause that is bigger than you, the blessings will come.
Oh.
I want to encourage all Pemexans where they are, especially in North America, Canada, USA, that we had some decisions, we arrived at some resolutions at the General Assembly, which is intended to cater for them, to cater for ourselves. And that we want everybody to be on board. We want everybody to come and let's share together, let's cry together, let's grow together, and of course, let's continue to sing our hearts out together. And that we'll be sending out some of those resolutions, we'll be sending out some of those commitment sheets, we'll be sending out some of the wonderful things that we created. I had this sober spouse who kept insisting we want a spouses committee. And I said he will be the first chairman of that spouses committee. So, hey, why not? The question is, Pemexa, whatever you have in your heart, say it out. Why not? Who says we cannot do it? Just bring it on board, and we are definitely going to work with everybody.
First, thank you very much for coming. Personally, I thank you for coming because when whatever happened back then, so many people called me and they were like, "Oh, maybe my B, they didn't even finish the name. Maybe my B, she's a good woman. She's this, she's that. Continue for be you. So many people community admire you. So many people like you. So many people. In the few times I met you, I just like my energy. I told her today, I want my bees. And then she, oh, my bee. I said, yeah, me, I want you as Pemexa person, but then I want my bees. So you technically, you're not even really here as a Pemexan. You are here as a TORIDEY invite.
So why we not talking our own business now? Why we talk Pemexa?
No, we'll talk that one later. I actually admire what you did for during the event. So we needed to just add you for corner Pemexa in them. Thank you very much for today, guys. Go ahead and share the video. Let us know what you think. Sorry, say I nobody read me comments. Today is an exciting day. Yeah, comments will be there. Okay, DJ put comment. What it okay. Yeah. A few people commented. Sorry, so I need to read comment today. I was just excited. I'm just to go meet the go and the go. Thank you guys very much. Don't forget to. By the way, boss, on our contact information, please. Website, Facebook, phone number, or anything.
Our website is pemexausa.org. We have an app that's coming out soon, Pemexa app, and we are very present in the community.
Okay.
Say Pemexa, I'll turn around. You don't need to know my name, but my name is Mabis, as they know me in the community.
When I don't hear Pemexausa.org.
.org.
Okay, guys, go ahead, visit their website. Let them know. Oh, it's down right now. So, but then, what is the social media?
The social media handle on Facebook.
Okay.
We are on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, guys, just go ahead and reach out to them. I don't know if I get email to on a phone number.
Sorry, something important I wanted to say, and I completely forgot in the communities that came out to support me. I saw people there that are my person that would have said, invite me for your event. But like the president insisted, we actually, if you notice, we did not raise $1. We did not ask anybody for money. We did not do a fundraising. And you yourself noticed that we spent a ton of money.
Yeah.
We just wanted to call our friends back to come sit with us, have fun with us, even though they paid gate fee, of course. But everybody liked the dinner. So sit with us, break bread with us, and let's start our activities again. In the future, we would be counting on their support as we start our fundraising drives to continue to build community together and to help each other grow. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you for letting me say that.
When I don't hear from my bees, my favorite babies. Go ahead and support things like this when they have an event, whether it's a fundraising or whatever. Just go ahead and support them. We are trying to build a community, and it will take me and you to build this community, whether I like it or not. If we not build a community, then would actually destroy the community. You don't want to get to that place. You don't want to get to that place where you never close your eyes because you don't know how your picking will be. You don't know what to be the future of your picking. People like this Pemexa, they started something already. All we need to do is jump on board and make it happen for them. Thank you again. Please go ahead and share the video at a small to read up get for today.